Hey everybody, it's Christine, and today I've got a new layout using the double shot kit from the ScrapRoom, and this is a page kit from Echo Park, and I just absolutely fell in love with this sunburst paper. So with that, I wanted to do something different with it. I didn't want to just put a picture in the middle and go with it. So what I decided to do was cut it, and I'm going to cut along the green lines, which is not going to line up perfectly, but I'm going to kind of make it line up perfectly. And what I mean by that is, like, there's no easy way to just cut straight on the diagonal, and so I'm going to just kind of fake it, make it work, because I want to use this bigger piece on my layout, and yes, it's at a diagonal angle. That's what I want to go for. And so putting that sunburst at the diagonal, and then I'm going to do some interesting layering and cutting with the leftover as well as the base that I already put together. So what I'm looking at right now is if there's a way to do some interesting layering. So what it turns out, what I end up doing as my second step really could work for the whole thing, and you could skip this step, but maybe seeing this will inspire you to try something else different. So I'm going to leave it in the video anyway, but it's definitely not necessary. So what I'm doing is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to trim out each of those different colored rays, cutting around the white, and I'm going to add those onto the top of the current rays. Now, because I left both of the green ones on there, I'm not going to have it for the green, but we'll make that work here in a little bit. So you can see I'm just putting that on right on there where it attaches to the yellow circle. And I'm going to do a tape runner along the bottom, and then at the top, I'm going to add 3D foam squares to make it pop up, and then I'm going to pull the end up like I did just there so that you have a little bit more dimension. And I'm going to go all the way around and do that to all the colors until I run out of rays to use from the bottom. So fast forwarding, you can see what this looks like. Now, it looks cool, but it isn't quite the effect that I was going for. So I decided to try something else, and actually this really added to it, and I love how this worked. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my craft knife and I'm just cutting a line, diagonal, straight, whatever, it doesn't matter for each one, and then I'm cutting a little bit of a slit on both of the verticals there, so you can see just going down just a smidge, and then I'm pulling that up, and I'm doing that 1 or 2 more times on each of the rays, working the way up each of those different rays. And this ends up being a really, really cool effect. It looks like I pieced together the rays, even though I didn't. And like I said, you can see how this could totally work all the way up without having to add that first step in that I did. But I didn't think of it. Until I got to the second step and was trying to figure out how to still make the design work better. So that's okay. And that gives you, like I said, it gives you some ideas of maybe a jumping off point for trying something different. So you can see how all of those are coming together, pulled up, and I could add some dimensional adhesive underneath them. I'm not going to, because I'm not worried about them having too much dimension. I just wanted to have ever so little. And with the cuts, that definitely helps to just kind of make them pop up a little bit more. But you can see, like on those longer ones, I'm definitely adding some additional ones up top rather than just do one more, making them really pop that way. So my next step will be to get this actually onto my base. And so I'm going to just use a tape runner and go all around this in the right spots so that I don't glue down the dimensional parts, and add that onto a sheet of white cardstock to make it all come together. This effect, I definitely am going to play with this effect again because I just really love how it turned out. And I think it's a great way to take a paper that's already cool and make it even more unique. So now, because this is the double shot kit, you do have somewhat limited embellishments. I mean, there is quite a few in there, but I was looking for a little bit more. And so when I'm looking for a little bit more, I always go to my papers and see if there's anything I can fussy cut, because that is a great way to add embellishments, both big and small, to your layout. So I cut out those sunglasses, and I'm going to use those with my pictures, sorry. And I've got pictures of my son playing in a pool, and I put 2 of them onto the red patterned paper to mat it. And then I tucked a little yellow strip underneath, just because, quite honestly, I was looking to add something else there and I liked the way that looked. It just worked with my design. And then I'm going to pull in some of the different ephemera pieces and some of the brads to decorate it. And you can see very simple embellishing. Again, as I always say, if your background is complicated, your embellishing can be quite simple because you don't need to overdo it. And we are definitely living by that motto today. I am going to add in the year with these letter stickers, and that will be it. So very fun technique for the background, a different way to look at that paper. Let me know if you play with it. I'd love to see how you change things up with this awesome paper, and be sure to check things out at the scrap room.